Lecture number 4 is about understanding to create a positive user experience means how a user respond to it or who is using it or what are the things that will make our interface or layout better and presentable. First of all, we will discuss about explore the principles of positive user experience. We'll explore first we have to understand that how to create a positive user experience. We will discuss about the principles later, but what first of all that is what is user experience. So the user experience is how a user interacts with and experience a product, system or a service. Obviously we will know about any software when we will use it or we will be in some interaction or we have some communication level with that software or any system or when we will use any service of it. So it includes a person's perceptions of utility, ease of use and efficiency. Improving user experience is important to most companies, designers and creators when creating and refining products, because negative user experience can diminish the use of that product and therefore any desired positive impacts. Conversely, designing towards profitability often conflicts with ethical user experience objectives and even causes harm. User experience is subjective. However, the attributes that make up the user experience are objective. Now, for example, if you are making any product, so first you will try to use your product as a end user, like you are the user or you need that software to use. Then you will consider yourself as a user and you will take the things out or you will add some things that a user may want. It should be attractive, it should be easy to use, or what properties does that software or that product should have that it can give us profit. Okay, so what are the basic principles? First is three click rule, content prioritization, appropriate colors, easy to use, provide user control, consistency across device and screen size, minimize data input, accessibility, touch screen function, legible content, interface clearly visible. Now, what are they? First of all, there is click rule. Now, what is a three-click rule? The three-click rule simply states that the visitor must be able to find the content. If you're searching about something, so you should use or you are performing or you should present a product that can be searched or it has some information on internet that he or she is looking for within 3 clicks from anywhere on the site. For example, from the home page to the service section, first click. From the service section to the search engine optimization, it is the second click. And from the SEO to PPC, third click means that when you finally got the information about it. It is just a 3-click way. Each click must be regarded as one level of structure. For example, if you are going to buy some medical product, you can say, or some cosmetic product. So obviously you will go and search for that product first of all, that what is that product or what that product contains or what are the reviews of that product on internet. After that, first what will you do? You will first click to enter that name. Second, you will go to the search button and you will ask the search engine to provide you the information, and on the third click the information will be on your screen that you will be reading. Your product should be, it means that it must have some reviews or some information about it on internet, so it would be easy for people to understand about that product. Many in the user experience industry are familiar with the idea of 3-click rule, a golden rule for UX best practices for design. The 3-click rule is the idea is that after 3 clicks, a user cannot find what they are looking for. They are likely to get frustrated and abandon the task they set out to do. This idea quickly gained popularity and became a well-known best practice for designing and engaging an effective user experience, and is something that can still be seen in design that happens today. Now, what would you prefer? That if you want, there are two things that you want to buy. One has information on internet or some product or some software, it can be anything, and the second one has no information on internet, or you cannot take any benefit of it through internet or through 3-click rule. Then what thing you will buy or you will go for?
With the feedback.
Yes. So produce something that must give the feedback and meet according to users requirement. That is the first and main thing. Then what does it mean by content prioritization? The content should be good, because if the content should is not good, then it won't attract people. Content that perform best is optimized for user instead of SEO tactics. User focused content prioritize intent, usability, findability, timeless, and efficiency. Now there are 5 elements. What does intent mean? Intent mean clear purpose based on users motivation and objective. What is the intent of producing that product or generating some software? Then what is your intent of that element that you're going to produce? What is their usability, or on which devices it can be used, or through what channel you can use it? Findability, available where the user is using their words. Means you should add such easy search engine names from which a user can access them. For example, sometimes we know the product, that what it is used for, but we don't know the specific name of that product. It happens most of the time. And what we enter on our search engine, we relate the words. For example, some days before, I was looking for, there was a mini massager. I didn't know about the name of mini massager. Then I typed, clearly I typed massagers of all types or with all prices, or I have written the price also, that according to price, maybe it will be shown that if I entered a low price, then it obviously it will show me the mini versions of that massagers or something. So words should be so simple so it is findable. Don't just enter your search engines specific names of that product. Then timeliness, current information for the moment it is needed. Now it is dependent on time, that if you have launched the product, before launching the product you should give the information about that, because after launching that, no, product is out but people don't have information about that, so that is not worth it. What will be worth it, that first you have to provide information and then you will launch that product, or you will show them to people about any software, because people can search about it and then work on it. And efficiency means quickest answer, consumable without obstacles, that if someone has some questions about, queries about that thing particular, so they must have the quickest answer. So first, I was telling you about intent. The first thing to consider when crafting content is your user's intent. In many ways, that is most important. Even Google's algorithm is adapting to understand searchers' intent. Then the second one is usability. Content usability is all about what the content experience look like to the user and how you consider the best text and or visual method for the user to consume. Consider content versus format. Now, it depends that what type of content user wants. If it is a software or it is a thing for all ages. Now, on the age like we are on the age, we can read the theoretical part, that what this product says or what is about, but the people of old age or the people or the kids, they will not understand that English that well. So what would they prefer? They will prefer there should be some audio or some visual which shows that what is about. So we should keep in mind content, a message delivered to an audience, that how you are delivering the message to the audience so it can be useful for all ages. Then there is format, a specific way a message is delivered. We should see the format also of the content, of the usability, that what are our intentions, how it can be usable. Then
Okay.
findability. To make contents findable to your user, it needs to be easily accessible where they are. Certainly, search engines optimization plays an important role, but even Google recommends to make pages primarily for users, not for search engines. No, this is the thing. We are not making things for Google or for search engines. It is for people. So we have to keep in mind that how people will search, can search are things literate or illiterate. What words they can use. And if they use these words, so our product should be shown. Timeliness, prioritize timeliness over polish. Users care more about having the information they need when they need. If it is presented perfectly. Timely content for user includes keeping important content current and updated, as well as publishing new content via efficient workflows. Now, for example, when WhatsApp updates its some feature, now it's again that okay, we will understand somehow, but our mothers, our fathers, they won't understand that feature so quickly. So there is just a status update for that, that you can do this. So that is the saving time, that they can see the status and they should then keep themselves updated that what is that update about, what we have to do. Efficiency is content efficiency depends on who is accessing your content and how. This is an item that should also be data driven based on your users. Use data trends over time to determine the right amount of content or details needed to help your users achieve their objective. It should be efficient, it should be active, that what user wants, it should be provided at that time. For example, any query about anything. For example, if you take an example of Daraz, means an online shopping app. If you have ordered something by mistake, you will ask it how to cancel my order. Now, if they won't reply at the spot or at the time, so it will be of no use because the order will be confirmed and dispatched. That is not an efficient way of working.
Ma'am, can you repeat this last example again? Sorry.
I was talking about some online shopping app that
Yes.
if you have ordered something and by mistake you have ordered two things or you have ordered the wrong item, so you need to cancel that order. Now you will ask for the query that how to cancel my order. Now if that
Okay.
software is not capable of replying you on the time, so what will happen, your order will be confirmed and it will dispatch. So that is
Ma'am, I have a
efficient thing. That is the main problem. That is the that makes your software down. When people face such things, that is
got it.
it is major issue. So that makes a software and non-efficient software, because it should have all these criteria by keeping in mind what is happening around us. We should consider these things.
Got it, ma'am.
Second one, we have appropriate colors. It should be according to user, that how user wants to see it. If your, for example, software is about nature or some natural or organic things, so it must be some green in color, or there some must have some plants on it or some flowers, but some decent colors. If it will be on kids color choice like orange and pink and blue, so it won't be that much appropriate for the user who is using it. It will feel like no, that website is so too childish, or maybe it's not professional. They will not consider that as professional. So you should choose appropriate colors according to your content and according to your customer's demand. Proper color use is important for creating a positive image for your customer. That's why color plays a leading role in the interface design. It stimulates all senses by delivering a message instantly, like no other method of communication. Now, once I had started blogging, but later I couldn't continue it. But while making that blog, I was like, I have to had two blogs about self-love and current affairs. So for current affairs, if I'm using the topic black magic, I have to choose the visuals on that. Like it should be black or gray. It should have fire or some that color effect. That should look like a black magic content. And on the
So
other
like a
thing,
theme.
when I was
Like
doing on self love. So it was like pinkish. When I was talking about some makeup, that it was obviously of some pinkish color, and the colors that attract girls, because that was for girls. So colors matters a lot. If on black magic I would be have using pink, so I don't think so some serious learner or some serious readers should have read that. They will not consider it as professional, and they will just leave that page. So that is really important. Why is color important in UI and UX design? The decision making process takes around 90 seconds after the initial interaction with products or interfaces we see. Moreover, the study conducted at the University of Winnipeg found that approximately 62 by 92%, 90% of the assessment is based on colors alone. Therefore, well considered colors use can contribute not only to distinguishing products from rivals but also to shaping customers' emotions, positive or negative, and hence attitude towards certain products. So color is basically more important to convince the user to read or access your thing. Color is more than just an aesthetical element. If you just think that color is just a minor thing, but that is wrong. It is not just a minor thing. It is a strategy, it is a point of view, a visual appearance from which it will open the page. I wouldn't like the colors. I won't be going through the whole document if it is about some serious thing. Obviously, I will not find it so much professional and so good, and I won't find so relaxing. Likeways, it also comes with an audio. If we want to learn about some topic or some lecture, I will open the video, and if the user's voice or the way of talking and the image he is using, if it doesn't suits me to my eyes or to my ears, I, even though his lecture will be effective, but his way or his visual is not effective, I will not continue with that. So that is an important part. For example, choosing between a dark or a light UI effect not only the attractiveness of your web and mobile designs but also the usability level. From a strategic point of view, visual appearance affect consumers' purchasing decisions. As it was mentioned, as a result, some businesses are incorporating colors for UI design into their marketing strategies to achieve better results. Now, I will give you a very simple example of a mobile phone that nowadays on WhatsApp and on Facebook, Messenger, everyone is using dark theme, most of.
Yes, ma'am.
But on the kids of our age or the people of our age, but my father doesn't use that. Why? Because he feels like, no, it's too dark. I couldn't understand. It just pinch my eyes. So he is using white. My mother is using white theme. But we prefer dark themes. So on our mobile screen as well, girls like dark colors sometimes according to their mood. So there is an availability of colors according to mood. But boys have most of the simple design, that it should look simple, it doesn't pinch my eyes, it looks like professional. But girls phone doesn't look like professional all the way, because they are using sometimes red roses and other cartoonic things, even of bigger ages sometimes, even mothers, some mothers also. So it depends on a user, what a user want. If a mobile had theme of just simple colors, so we will just say no, there is no variety, we don't like it, then we have to download some images and we will put on our screen. So that affects the user very much. How does color affect users? Designers can use color to influence how users think and behave towards a brand and how they perceive some details. And this is why designers and products owners need to understand the meaning of different colors. This is no doubt that colors can stimulate our brain chemistry and generate feelings accordingly. The results can be physical as well as mental. The green and blue colors that are most common in nature can provide better healing for the stressed out mind. This is why blue, for example, is commonly used in mental therapy for reducing stress. Like it's common, some people like day, some people like night. Some people like healing up in the open sky at daytime because they like that lightning. But most of the people want that, no, we will go at night, they will sit alone even on their roof, or they will go out because they like black. That is their healing mind. So it depends on mental therapy also. Color, however, is too dependent on person experience to translate universally into particular feeling. Some shades or tone can give very different meanings. Research shows that individual colors may be oppositely perceived due to personal preferences, experiences, upbringing, cultural differences, and context. Now, in Pakistan, there is something about coloring, and even the two conflict countries, that is Pakistan and India. I would say if some Indian is using some green thing in it, so they will criticize them. There
Yes,
will
sir.
be more things like, no, you are presenting them. And if some Pakistani has dressed up like on uh, white, red, and green color, or I think orange color they have,
Orange,
these three, or red or orange, I don't know, I might be mistaken.
orange,
Orange.
orange
So,
Hinduism.
so they will say, no, why are you representing them? Why are you wearing? And it definitely happens on social, the people who are more social or celebrities. They will criticize them. Are you representing them? Why have you dressed like that? So colors also affect on all aspects. It's not just the one aspect. So we should
Got it, ma'am.
take care of that. Then there is accessibility considerations. When websites and web tools are properly designed and coded, people with disabilities can use them. However, currently many sites and tools are developed with accessibility barriers that make them difficult or impossible for some people to use. Making the web accessible benefits individual business and society. International web standards define what is needed for accessibility. So, if we are making some website for all users, so we have to maintain that options, that if there is a colorblind people, so we wouldn't be using that thing that press red color or press white color for order or press this color for that. No, we will just use the words. It doesn't matter about the colors. If someone is colorblind, how can he differentiate between the colors? So it should be accessible for all of the users. So for that purpose, if someone cannot see, so there are devices that hear the voice and then call. If a phone like Google, if some people cannot see, so he will just speak up that call this number or call from my contacts this number, then they will call. If a blind person cannot use the smartphone, so it is not accessible for all, then it will be restricted to one thing, that only the people with the five senses can use this smart device, otherwise it is not usable, right? You get my
Yes,
point?
ma'am.
So
Yes,
making
ma'am.
the web accessible benefits individuals, businesses, and society. International web standards define what is needed for accessibility. Major thing, the people who cannot talk, they can write. For some people, for some issues, they lost their fingers. Or, for example, even not the lost their fingers, I would say, even for the old age people who cannot type on YouTube or search engines that what they want to search, they can easily take a voice note. They can voice them and they can search about anything. Now, my father cannot write things. He just use a voice tool on YouTube and he search for the videos. So it makes easy for everyone.
Same here.
The web is fundamentally designed to work for all people, whatever their hardware, software, language, location, or ability. When the web meets this goal, it is accessible to people with a diverse range of hearing, movement, sight, and cognitive ability. Thus, the impact of disability is radically changed on the web because the web removes barrier to communication and interaction that many people face in the physical world. However, when websites, application technologies, or tools are badly designed, they can create barriers that exclude people from using the web. Now, before Facebook, when I have that voice note feature, we just have to write messages, and some messages were too long that we cannot make anyone understand about that. So, voice note has made this thing really easy. Secondly, about the locations, we can send anyone about our current location or our live location. That is really easy for anyone to track us if we wanted to.
Yes, ma'am.
Then second, next is easy to use. Now this is also for all age gaps, that it should be easy to use, that you don't use specific or very hard words, so no one can understand and what to do next. So ease of use is a basic concept that describes how easily user can use a product. Design teams define specific metrics per project. For example, user must be able to tap, find within 3 seconds of accessing the interface, and aim to optimize ease of use while offering maximum functionality and respecting business limitation. Now, for example, there is if someone is not literate to English and there is a button of next, he won't be understanding that what does it mean. I don't know, unless until there is written next, and below the next written text there is an arrow of going forward. So he will not read the text, he will just see where is that arrow going. That visual for him will be satisfying for him, that he would know, okay, this is for the forward, I have to go forward, so I will press this button. So interface and your content both are attached, and that is really important, that your content and your interface should be easy to use. Ease of use is a central usability concept. Usability compromises all users' experience elements relating to ease, which with which users can learn, discover content, and do more with a design product. In UX design, usability is a minimum requirement for any successful product, but good usability alone is no guarantee of market success. If you create an easy to use interface, though you can partially tap into emotional designs and help users fall in love with it, your brand and the service represented. Then there are touch screen functions. A touch screen is a display device that allow users to interact with the computer using their finger or stylus. They are useful alternative to a mouse or keyboard for navigating a GUI, graphical user interface. Touch screens are used on various devices such as computer, laptop, displays, smartphones, tablets, etc. Now, what is the main reason people have left the desktop and they have came to laptops? Firstly, they are portable, we can take them anywhere, and we just have to carry one device. We don't need to carry all keyboard also and mouse also and speakers also, right? So we
Yes, ma'am.
have everything in it. And according to users, what is best extra than laptop? That is the tablet, because it is already more small and it has more features. We can use just our finger even to tap, even to move the cursor and do anything that we are doing on our laptops. So that is more easy for you to use. So people mostly prefer touch screen functions, that every function or every device should have the touch screen functions. Provide user control. Control is giving your user the control to do what they want or the option to undo something if it all goes to pot. If a user deletes something by mistake and you given an undo option, you are giving the user control. When users know that they have control and the option to undo something, they are more likely to do it in their first place. We talked about the success of Amazon's one click checkout. It's successful because users know they can cancel the order straight away, which means they are more willing to use the option to begin with. It is a small thing, but it has a massive impact. The user did something wrong and you are helping them out so they don't look stupid. The impact value is high. Same the thing I was talking, we were talking about the canceling option, but it's not just about canceling. Like if even we delete something on our system, so firstly, there were no some such software that could retrieve our data if we have deleted it from our computer or our system. But today, people have not this tension. If something happens by mistake, they can retrieve their data also. So they have the control to use that website or I mean that software or on control on their device. So providing user control is really important. In Word, when I'm making the slides. So by mistake, I generally, when I'm typing something or I'm typing my thought, it happens with me all the time. My daughter just came and she presses some button, and that is lost. When I had selected my whole content and I wanted to give them some um, view, like I want to change the font color or something, so it is selected, and when my daughter just pressed one button and it's all gone. So there is a button to retrieve your text. So if it wasn't there, then I again have to write all the things that was coming in my mind, and maybe at that time I missed something. This gives us control, that we can retrieve our data or we can do changings what we want, and that freedom people want when they are using some software.
Like an autosave? Yeah.
Yeah, it and autosave is really best. For example, there is some technically challenged user will optional for the recommendation installing operations options, while other users, people with a better understanding of the software, will likely go for the custom installation. You are giving your users power by simply by giving them different options. Whenever you see advanced settings, this is allowing the user to use their freedom for that software. It happens that when we change our windows, it happens with us every time, I think so. Now I don't change my windows by myself because I lost my all data. I in on installation, I just freeing up the space for windows, I format some other drive. So
Oh,
that thing we have to consider, that there is a custom installation and there are several options, but just the thing is we have to focus. It's not always that we can retrieve any of our data, but we have to focus also. So what is a
okay.
legible content? Legibility means how to make text convenient to read. Legible, we can say, according to law also, I would say we have to think like we are not hurting someone's feeling by some of our rules or some of our wordings and other copyright issues. They all come in legible content. When using text in a user interface, you want to be sure that your user can read it without effort and make good use of the information you want to convey. Therefore, the most crucial requirement for text is that it is legible. Learn what to be aware to of the asset legibility. Your first step of to creating great content and self-descriptive user interface. With a few simple rules concerning text size, contrast, and basic typography, you can easily avoid the common mistakes of text display. Your first step in making your text legible is to understand what legibility means. It is closely related to readability. But there is a distinct difference. While readability is the overall ease with which a reader can understand the meaning of text, legibility describes the features of a text that enable the reader to recognize and distinguish between the individual character and words. Legibility is a result of the chosen typeface and font, its size, its spacing, and the contrast between text and background. It can also be affected by the layout of the text, for example, the text orientation and length of lines. Now, there are some software, or while I'm searching about some content, so the heading will be accurate that I want, but below the content will be so long that I have to find out which line I want to pick up. I will be frustrated, first of all, that the heading is main, for example, the definition. But where is the definition? I had to read whole the paragraph for the definition? No. So definition should be on the top. That is important. So text orientation, that how you manage the text, how you start your text, and what is the most important thing you should introduce first is more important. Then
Okay, ma'am.
second one, we have to make a checklist. For example, if in many documents there are more text, it is very lengthy. So first of all, we will give about the definition what the user wants. Later, we will make a checklist or we will make a content that what they want. They will just read it out all the checklist. Does our information is there or not? If there is not, they don't have to read whole of the document. They will just see and they will go on that line. Otherwise they will search for another search engine. But another thing is, as a user interface designer, you generally have to be aware of three properties of the text in your design. Is the text large enough? Is the text contrast high enough? Is the typeface feasible for the job or not?
Got
It's important in each of websites when people has more options. But in that, you have to consider the text shouldn't be large. It should be very small and accurate wording. The contrast should be like if people is searching about some definition, so the content must or the checklist must contain that its features, its properties, its principles. So on checklist, the things should be on a proper word. The text should be good. The contrast should be like not the visual contrast. It means the contrast that should be related to your text. That what you want further. It should be contrasting to that, and it would be easy for anyone feasible for the job. That it is according to your job. Either it is your way of language. It should be appropriate, and your typing or anything that could be easily searched from people. Then there is providing adequate contrast. Beside text size, the contrast between the text and its background is just as critical for legibility. Fortunately, checking if your content offers sufficient contrast is rather easy. Now, when you're typing the text, you should consider its background. That its background is matching that text or not. In wording ways, that what text are you typing? It can be according to that your background should match your typing, that what is your content. And secondly, obviously the colors also. So the background should be light or dark color. If your text is on a dark color, your background should be some light color, so your text should be visible. And if your text is light color, your background should be dark color. They matters a lot. While legibility is important, unfortunately, you will find many even very prominent examples of user interfaces and web contents that do not conform to the guidelines in this text. It is tempting for a designer to follow their lead because some of those examples are successful and seemingly good enough. But think twice about the following points and why truly great design had to be strict about text size, contrast, and good typography. Nowadays, building an app or approving about any website is really difficult because Google has risen their standards, and they take a lot of consideration on each of the part. They use that software or your app for at least a month, or they considered they rechecked your app again and again with different peoples, with different mindsets of people, and what they think. And they literally pick the minest mistake that will be so minor that we won't consider them, or the people or the users, for example, even though they won't consider them, but the Google will consider them, and they will
Ma'am,
your app.
this is new. This is new information for me that Google also does audit for this. But
No, because I know, because my cousin, he is in IT also and he builds app. So he was telling me that today, no, I have built an app, and they have again, and they had said, no, you won't be able to update your version. You should have a software or a thing that will update their version according to Android version by itself. It will not be for 1 year. You have to build your app for this year time. So there is so much of that, your text, your content, your size of writing, your display on one layout, they have now risen their standards so high. So today
ma'am,
it's
is it
difficult.
specific for the applications or the website?
It is basically because he builds app, so he was telling me about apps, but same it is for websites also. If you're working for some company, or we are taking orders through freelancing, so it sometimes have very difficulty on, they would say no, it is not professional, it doesn't look professional, it looks like this. So they have these minor things in that. So today it has been become very difficult. Even the app building that was so easy before, but today they have risen their standards and their limitations.
Got it, ma'am. Thanks for the new information.
Yeah. So that was for me also, because I wanted to build an app, but my cousin has told me, no, you have to read this also, and you have to go through these laws also. because my app has been rejected 3 or 4 times, and now still I'm working on that. So you should consider those things. Or you should learn, there are some new languages, I think React, that is so much in nowadays, and understanding is a bit difficult, but working is easy on that if you understand once. So
Got it, ma'am. Got it.
there is consistency across device and screen size. Now, if there is some app or something you are using on your laptop, and by some issues you cannot use it on your laptop, but now you have to use on your mobile. So device consistency or the layout should be so good that it sets itself according to screen size, its view. That is really important. So, as you design the user interface, it is important to keep in mind the interaction that take place between the human cognition and the screen you are designing for. Making things easier for your users means not forcing them to learn new representations or tool sets for each task. Reducing the length of the thinking process by eliminating confusion is also a sure bet when it comes to improving users' experience. Now, when I had started blogging. So I was working on my laptop, but when I opened that in my mobile, so all the text was dispersed. Then I have to learn about to set it for all devices according to screen size. That it should be good display on tablet also, on a laptop also, and on a mobile also. So keep that in mind. Then reduce learning. Consistency limits the number of ways actions and operations are represented, ensuring that a user do not have to learn new representations for each task. Further, establishing design norms like following platforms convention allow users to complete new tasks without having to learn the whole tool set. This may sound like a simple concept, but there are many examples out there that exhibits a lack of consistency in their designs. Designs should be so much easy so everyone could access them, instead of they have to learn each and every time that now what they have to do. So design should be easy and easy to use for all people. Eliminate confusion. Now there should be no confusion in interfaces or the layout or the text. Users tend to apply rules they have experienced outside of your website or product, bringing in a set of their own expectations. Knowing that we should be mindful of whether or not we are causing confusions and alienations when we divide from design standards and conventions. Further, users should not have to spend time wondering whether different words, interactions, or actions actually means the same thing within the context of your product. Confusion occurs when people are unable to piece together information and all the time obstructing them from achieving something. When the user is hindered about achieving their goals, it's understandable that they can feel angry or frustrated. If it's no secret that confusion generally causes frustration, and frustration leads to poor user experience. Therefore, you should always aim to eliminate confusion at every touch point whenever possible. Now, there are some software, I don't remember one, but I was using some software that was a new software. And when I opened that software, I didn't know that how to operate it, because I was confused that now what I have to write in this, now what I have to click. That was a confusion, and then I just switched off. I didn't use that software. Now, I clearly didn't remember about that software name, but there was. So your software should be so good that even simplest user can use that thing. He should be understanding that what next he can do. For it can be the words you are using or the images you are using. So the basic thing is that you have to eliminate confusion. Don't create confusion, or don't make user like your interface like too much confused or complex, that everything is on one layout. So the user will say, now what I have to click, either I have to click all the things, or either I have to select some things, or what I have to do. So it can frustrate the user, and they will not use that software, and it leads to poor user experience. 5, achieve consistency in your work. Your choice of language. Apply UI elements that they are originally defined. Use the softwares or the things that are originally defined, like buttons or checklists. Don't introduce something else innovative in a way that is innovative in your way, but it is not innovative as a user's way. For example, instead of checklist, you are making like select by color or select by just touch. If there will be no tick on that, or there will be no some selection option that there, from which user could understand that okay, I have selected this, the user will get confused, either I have selected or not selected. Is that software working or not working? Okay.
Yes.
Consider various well-established conventions when deciding on layout. Design for your user's expectations, not for your expectations. Create consistent visual elements throughout your site. So if your website or your app has 3 or more pages or 3 or more phases, use consistent visual elements throughout your site. Don't change like kids change on each and every page. They will decide that no, I will make flower on this page, I will make animals on another page, and then I will work. No, that is not a kids gallery. Create constant
Okay.
visual elements throughout your sites. Then there is interface clearly visible. Good interaction design is visible. Obviously, one of the ways our brain shapes experience is that it's constantly noticing and interpreting clues in our surroundings environment. What is it? What does it mean? What does it do? These are the main issues and the main questions that arrive. And while we notice just about everything, even unconsciously, there's a balancing act required for interaction design that invites action and easily understood. People should be able to easily tell that an opportunity interact is available, and they should be able to reasonably predict what the result of that interaction will be. For example, they will know if I'm selecting this thing, then my website will be showing this thing. For example, if we are using Instagram, so there are ads about some things, and things can be, I would say, for example, any product or dressing, I would say, shoppings online. So if there are options that there are 10 pictures given, and below each picture there is written shop now, or visual, or see your product. So we should know that when we will click this button, we will just be showing the picture of this dress or this product, not the whole website. There are some website who shows whole of the image, means whole of the website, and then we have to search that dress or that product. No, it should be efficient that if we are clicking below that image, we know that it will show this image also. But if we know that no, it will not show us that particular image, it will show us the whole website, and then we have to search it. Then what is the need of updating that pictures and for that button? There's no use. So your interface clearly should be visible and work on according to that people that could easily understand that we have done this, not the result will be this. So they will be sure and they will do this in no time. Then minimize the data input. What does it mean? That in business life, people often said that it is better to collect and store more information than necessary from a customer because the additional information could be useful at some point. However, they often overlook that the vast majority of this additional information is never used, and that among the usually quite extensive data collections, the actual useful ones are more difficult to find. In addition, extensive data collection requires corresponding resources. For example, working time and money. Regardless of this, it regularly violates the so-called data minimization principle of the General Data Protection Regulation. So I will add here about when we want some online shopping and we are entering our data. So if we choose the cash on delivery, then they shouldn't be needed our ID card picture, right? That will be inappropriate. So
Yes, ma'am.
because when we are entering that we will do cash on delivery, then what is the need that you are taking our ID card pictures? That is not needed. So that information is not good. But the additional information, like they're taking our home address, they're taking our number, and they're taking our email address, then that is good. Or they are taking our 2 numbers, that if one doesn't respond, they can contact on other number. That is good. But if they are taking some inappropriate thing, that we won't be logging in that, or we won't be using that function because we think that that data input is not good. We shouldn't be given that. under General Data Protection Regulation. We will not be sure that either they will use it in a wrong way or a right way. So that is a basic example. So it is important to understand here that data minimization does not mean a ban on a collection of certain data, but only that you must have a justification for their collection and their processing. If you are taking some information or some personal information, you should have some justification that why are you taking that. So that is really important. Now the next topic is about positive and negative aspects of interfaces layout. What are the positive and negative in layout thing that we should use or we shouldn't be using? So user interface is one of the most common front-end app view and direct human-computer interaction in which user can manipulate and control software as well as hardware. It can include all methods and devices are used to accommodate interactions between machine and user. User interface can take out many forms, but always accomplishes two fundamental tasks. Now, it is the communication between user and computer or a view. It doesn't matter with the software. So interface should be good. That is main thing. So it includes two things, that communicating information from machine to user and from user to machine, because it just works two ways. Important positive aspects of user interface are following. One is simplicity. Interface should be so simple, easy to use. User interface design should be simple. Less number of mouse clicks and keystrokes are required to accomplish this task. It is important that new features only add if there is compelling need for them and they add significant values to the application. Then there should be consistency. The user interface should have a more consistency. Consistency also prevents online designers information jaws and ambiguity and instability. Consistency means that everything should be same, not always that changing. Always change will be difficult for user to use every time, because every time he will open the app or open the software, he will then again just, oh no, I have to understand this all again. It has changed. No, the interface should be consistent, and if there is some updation, they should allow us through notification that we have updated this and you will do this to accomplish your task. We should apply typeface styles and size convention in a constant manner to all screen components that will add screen learning and improve screen readability. In this, we can provide permanent objective as unchanging references points around which the user can navigate. Then, intuitiveness. The most important quality of a good user interface design is intuitive. Intuitive user interface design is one that is easy to learn so that user can pick it up quickly and easily. Icons and labels should be concise and congent. A clear, ambitious icon can help to make user interface intuitive, and a good practice is make labels conform to terminology that the application support. Now, the icons or the button that you are using should match the text, that what is going to do. That thing is really important. Each thing is, I would say, interactive. They are attached. Your text, your label design, your button or the element you are using. That should be so easy. So if someone is not picking up the word, it should go through with the interface or the design or the image you have implemented. So the user can easily pick it up and quickly finish their task. He or she doesn't need to learn about that thing. Then there is prevention. A good user interface design should prevent user from performing an inappropriate task, and this is accomplished by disabling or graying out certain elements under certain conditions. Now, if someone is saying that cash on delivery, then the next step will be the options of credit or debit card should be cut. That person shouldn't be entering in that portion, because that is then of no use. If he or she has selected the online section, then only that can be shown. So that is a prevention method. That is a good layout. Forgiveness means this quality can encourage user to use the software in a full extent. Designers should provide users with a way out when users find themselves somewhere they should not go. For example, by mistake, if they have accept something that they wanted to. That also include the canceling option. You can say the easiest way to understand is canceling option. So there is a way of forgiveness also, that, oh no, we don't want to go there, just undo this, or that is by mistaken. Or there is something that if they have confirmed something, there should be a final confirmation message that really you want to do this. So if that thing is done by mistaken, so he or she can undo its working. Then there is graphical user interface design. A graphic user interface design provides screen displays that create an operating environment for the user and form an explicit visual and functional context of user's action. It includes standard objects like buttons, icons, text field, Windows image pull down, and pop up screen menus. Now it should have not just like it, the graphic or the interface should have the buttons option also, or other icons also, or text field if they're entering something, or images pull down pop up screen menus. These all makes your software so much interactive and easy to access. So these are the main thing.
Noted, ma'am.
Next is negative aspect. Now, what are the negative aspects of interface layout that shouldn't be there, which will make your website or your software down? Sluggish and unresponsive. Interaction will be slow and clunky. Like I have said, that if someone wants an answer right now, but he is not getting that answer, so that interface or that software will be not accepted. If it is not unresponsive, or sluggish means they have a slow system, or the interface is not good, that they couldn't find that option, that where we have to complain.
True, ma'am.
The site will be hard for people to understand. So the interface should be so much of easy to use. It shouldn't be complicated, so it will be useful for all people. Confusing, it shouldn't be confusing. It will be unclear about where the visitor should go next. Inconsistent design. Page will look different, throwing users off. If your design will be not confirmed, not consistent, user will find that thing unattractive, and they will no longer be using your website. No target. There is no clear audience for the website. Now, if you are building, for example, you are writing a blog, that is of no point. Like it is not from the social side, or it is not from the regular issues, or not informative. So I don't think so anyone will be go for that website or go for that blog if you have not any target. So basically some people have target. They want to, if it is about skincare or it is about makeup or anything, they will provide some information that people want. It's not just you want to write something, you have something in your mind, and you just you are typing your thoughts. No one is interested in your thoughts when it is not linked to any target, when you don't want to convey any message. That is if there is no target, then there is no audience. Then lack of social interaction. Social media plays a big part in business nowadays, and people like to see that. Like if you have a website or some software and there you cannot connect with your people, or about that software you don't have any social media plays, like you don't have any reviews, or you don't have any audience in that, they can communicate. So people will not like that. Readability issues. Good UI includes content too, and unreadable content is absolute no for good reason, for good UI. That it should be very good readable content that people love to read. They shouldn't be very extend content that is of no use, and or their font size should be not small enough or not big enough. The actual font itself is appropriate, and your color scheme makes it easy to read what's on your website. There was the positive and negative impact, and now there is user interface have an impact on processes. Now, what is the user interface that have an impact on processes? What makes a business successful? Is it tasteful marketing, top-notch quality product service, seamless interactions, or exceptional customer support? Now, what is it basically? It's everything and more. User experience. Impact, interfaces impact on processes, It includes all of the things. How your marketing is going, how your product quality is, how you interact, and what are the customer supports. How would you know where you lack and what you need to improve to offer an unparalleled user experience? It's simple. You have to measure the user experience. Now, how will you measure the user experience, that is your product good or not, and or what you need next to do? Task success rate. This metric looks at how successful users are with core tasks. It helps you to figure out whether user can easily accomplish what they set out to do or not. The task success rate metric is derived by simply looking at the number of people completing a task which you have defined. For example, if before launching a software, it is a best practice that you send it to your friends or your friend circle or your colleague circle. You will see that how they are responding. On that basis, you will define that are you success or not. How many people have given the thumbs up, or how many issues are there. Secondly, time on task. The length of time users spend on an activity can be crucial to measuring its success or failure. It's often used as a proxy for understanding how engaging an experience with a product, service, or brand. You're getting my point?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So the time should be, means the task should be completed on time. If you have selected something and it is taking approximately 2 to 3 minutes to update it or to show you, so you will not be happy with that. If it shows on loading, or the items have been loaded after some time, so that will be not good. You want a quick response. That if you have login on something, it should log in immediately. It can be a internet issue. They can adjust on internet issue, but they cannot adjust on the software issue. Then search versus navigation. Search and navigation pattern in web analytics give you insight into the type of information users are more interested in. They gives you an idea of how easy it is for people to find what they're looking for when they're using your product or service, or which features or functions they are most important to them. Now, if there is a website and it contains many products, means overall shopping products they can give you each accessory from taking to fashion, from medical, or for other uses devices. So it would be preferable if they had a search engine or they have a navigation. They have separated each of the department and they have listed that we have this item, or they want a specific item. They can select. So if these options were not available, people have to go through all of the items. So that will be a time taking. That is not a good feature. Then use error rate. The user error rate matrix lets you know how many times user have tried but failed to complete a task, process, or activity. So if 10 out of 100 people fail task one, then you will know that they either don't understand instructions or aren't able to grasp the key concept behind it. For example, you want to test your software and you send it to some 100 people, or even 100 or more number, I would say 10 people of your close one. It can be friend circle or colleague circle. So out of 10, if you think that only 2 are able to complete it, understand it, then you will find out that where the mistake is. Because 2 out of 10 ratio is really bad. You will rate your error, that what is my error, where I am having issue. Either it is in the design, either it is in my text, or some visual issue, or what issue. This can be anything. So if you're noticing that a large number of these user error are coming from new users, then that's something you may want to take into account and find ways to change to attract and retain more long-term users. Then there is a conversion rate. The next behavioral metric we are going to cover is the conversion rate. This measures how many people or new visitors complete a task, such as signing up, completing an order, making a purchase, etc. So if 100 new people visit your website, but only 10 of those 100 completed the sign up processes successfully, then it goes without saying that there is a room for improvement within your product or service offering. So most people are, it is this rate. The error rate was if less people were doing it, able to do it, and more people was not. So here it is the reverse. If more people are able to do that and some people are not, that means you are going good. That is your conversion rate. Then you should focus on now what next I can do for them also to sign up. Then there are a number of recommendations. A number of recommendations can be included to provide insight into what value is being generated by users' interaction with the brand, service, or product. It does this by showing how often external websites are recommending your site despite any fault that may exist within it, which can be an indication of how well your product service is doing. So if 40 out of 100 people who visit your website recommend it instead of an original number of 10, then it goes without saying that there is something good going on with your brand or product service offering despite any issues that may exist. Now, how many people, for example, if your 100 people are using your website and there is a ratio of 40 people, or you can say 50 people or more people there who are recommending your website or your product. So it means there is something good that you are doing. You should do better, but still there is a good rate. So they are recommending you. What are your number of recommendations? That matters a lot. That on number 7, it is system usability scale. System usability scale is an online questionnaire that inquires about perceptions of the usability of a website, software application, or a product. You take a survey of, for example, like YouTube mostly does that. If they ask for the which ad you sees the most, or you can skip the survey, or several questions. I always skip the survey. So that is a questionnaire that is inquire about your product. Some websites ask for what you want from the customers. What are your problems? Like if there is a website of a hair solutions, they build hair products according to your issues. So they will ask a questionnaire that what you want or what you have issues, and they will suggest you the product according to that. That is a system usability scale. So the person very attractively use that questionnaire, and he wants or she wants to see that what comes out. Then there is customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a measurement of how well a product or service fulfills customer expectations. Then it scores all typically calculated by asking users through various survey methods what they thought about their overall experience before asking them if they would recommend the brand, product, service offering to friends, family members, or other contacts. Customer satisfaction nowadays, if we talked about the online survey, it is about the reviews. That it's if someone has bought something and it brings out really good, that it will give it its 5 star, and they will share the picture also, and they have some good comment also. That is a customer satisfaction which brings more traffic to their websites.
Got
Okay.